Hello again, folks. Welcome back to attempt number 2 at a magic show.
Ooh, magic show.
Yep, this is episode 3/2 of the Squidwolf show. And in a change to last night's programming, we're going to show you the full interview between Josie Adamson and Peter Clifford. Who was
popular demand.
Yeah, popular demand, actually. Where the hell is the whole interview? Is what I'm sure some people were thinking.
And we even have an extended version, I believe. Is that right?
Indeed, an extra 10 minutes of content. For those wondering what Peter has been getting up to during lockdown and what his plans are for next year. So, welcome to the Squidwolf show.
Enjoy.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
You want to see something?
Oh my Christ. No, I don't.
There you go. That was you.
No, I don't want to see that.
That's in the book.
Oh, good.
Yeah. How are you?
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's talk about Cafe Josie then.
Very colourful. Very colourful.
Yeah, the screen.
And the backdrop.
So, Peter, talk to me about Cafe Josie. Talk to me about what it was like to do that trick on the radio.
Trick on the radio?
Yeah, the trick on the radio was...
Radio Manchester phoned me up and said they wanted to come out immediately to do a broadcast. And could they interview me, and is there anybody else? And I panicked and I rang Peter. I said, you need to get in a taxi and get over here now. Radio Manchester are on their way. So he arrived and we did the interview, and they asked him to do a magic trick on the radio.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out how that would...
It was a bit bizarre.
It was bizarre, and the guy presenting wasn't great. He was sort of stuck between being impressed and surprised by the trick and trying to describe it to people on the radio. So because he was trying to describe it, that sort of got in the way of him enjoying it, which sort of got in the way of him having anything to describe anyway. So it was all a bit of a mess for him.
Oh, well, it was all done so quickly. I mean, I think
it was okay. I've done lots of magic on the radio since then.
Oh, well, that's good then. That was your audition.
That was my first time. That's my first time.
Well, presumably you didn't meet that same presenter again, hopefully.
No, I didn't mean the same presenter. And also I had more of an idea of what worked on the radio. I thought it was all right. The trick was good. He was impressed by it. It was just hard to convey that, I think, for him.
Yeah, it was. I think he was quite new to the job.
Yeah, he seemed to be.
Through the short straw for going out to do the interview at short notice.
I remember the guy in the studio came up with the classic line, Kim Merritt merits a merit.
That's right, because he asked about the chef, the head chef, and I said, yeah, we need to mention Kim Merritt. He's our head chef. So he said, oh, so Kim Merritt merits a merit. And we all went, oh.
How witty that was. Yes.
And that was right in the very beginning.
It was that right at the beginning? Was that?
I think we'd not been open very long because I didn't know you very well. And I think an article.
No. Did you open? You were open before I came along, though, weren't you? Because you were open
before you came along.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how Richard got in touch with you or how you found out about us.
It was through Michael Clark, who I was at drama school with, and he was a chef. No, he was a waiter at the Lime Tree
Cafe.
and he had heard from someone that you'd got in touch, because obviously there was some link
Yeah.
that you had with that. So he'd heard that that a cafe had opened where they had magicians, and they wanted magicians. So I phoned up and said, "Can I come along?" And I got invited for an interview.
Did.
And so I came along for the interview, and I've now found out I was very lucky to get through the interview, because I just turned up in this jumper, this white woolen jumper,
White woolen jumper and a pair of jeans.
a pair of jeans.
How can anybody turn up for an interview? And Rich said he's a student.
He's a student.
Right,
Not only that, he's a drama student.
drama student.
Worst of the worst.
So
But
yeah,
it was that night, wasn't it? I was asked to. He asked me to do a session, do an evening. So I came along and auditioned.
yeah, that's right.
And then had to do a show. Had to do a mini show at the. I remember had to do. After that, I did a mini show for you guys and Kim and people in the kitchen.
Yeah, because Kim wasn't really happy about having magic. He said it's magic. What magic? What do you want magic for? It detract from my food. And I said, no, it won't, Kim. I said, but don't judge. And I said, have you seen any magic? And I can't remember whether he had. And I said, just wait till you see magic.
Ironically, sounds like Buxton from the Magic Roundabout, the way you just described him then.
Buxton, what do you know about a factory? Anyway, because he was not very happy about having magic, that's when Peter did the show for everybody, and Kim was just blown away. And it was like, do it again. It was like a big kid, do it again, do it, show me again. And that was it. From then on, Kim was quite happy to have magic. So there was magic in the kitchen and out. So there you go.
That was. That was the first. It's the first time I'd experienced any kind of food that wasn't like. I mean, before Cafe Josie, going out for a meal was like Pizza Hut or a curry.
Yeah, but you're a student, so that could have been forgiven.
Thank you, because I've been feeling bad about it, Dominic, for 30 years.
Josie was the first really cosmopolitan restaurant in Manchester, and I had decided what I wanted as a menu, and fortunately Kim agreed, and I said, I want to break all the rules. I'm not a trained chef, I'm just a good cook, but I've got a good imagination and I know the chemistry of food and what works and what doesn't. And I said, so what I want to do is to put together a menu that nobody else has got, which is, it could be some Chinese, some Greek, some Italian, maybe Spanish, it could be anything, but it'll be cosmopolitan. It'll be a small menu. And we'll also have a blackboard. And not only that, it's a proper restaurant with cooking to order. And when I think back, Kim was quite forgiving of me because I'd never worked in a kitchen. I'd been a washer up in a kitchen, but I'd never food prepped. I'd never been a commis chef. I'd not been a kitchen porter. I'd not done anything. So he had to train me how to run a kitchen. But how we gelled at that time was because we sat down to work out the menus. And that's how we came up with certain things. And, especially the lamb Madagascar, how do we stop the sauce from splitting and things? I'm not going to tell you how, because that's our secret, but it was all good food. There were no additives, no MSG. And he took me to the market, and we met at the fish market, the veg market, and we did everything from scratch. It was truly a unique restaurant from the kitchen side, but totally unique in Manchester on the other side as well, because nobody had live magic every night. And how Richard, I mean, he's a magician as well, yes, but he didn't we used to go to the magic conventions every year, but we didn't know any magicians. But of course we do now, and they're all wonderful.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. That was part 1 of 3, because basically I had a really hard time cutting down the interview. I mean, it was good conversation. We're talking for about 40 minutes in the end.
You only intended it to be a 10-minute interview, right?
No, I said, hey, let's all talk on Zoom for 10 minutes, and I wasn't even asking any questions. It's great. It's the easiest interview I've ever done. So without further ado, here is part 2 of the interview.
Is that you? Were you waiting for me to come to Manchester?
Yeah, this is it. I said, there's a guy. I said, and he's called Peter Clifford, and we've never called you anything else since. It's always
Peter Clifford.
It's always Peter Clifford.
Well, that's sort of a relief, thinking of the things that you could call me.
Well, the reason for it, if you remember, Tweetle, as Richard used to call Danielle, was only small. And she used to call you Naughty Peter Clifford because you used to play little tricks on her, and she was only a toddler. And she used to go, Naughty Peter Clifford. And that was it. You were Peter Clifford.
I remember you coming round with Danielle to Kate Hunt's, because Kate Hunt and I were living in the same block.
Yeah.
And Kate had the flat downstairs, and you came round with Danielle that day. I think she must have been only 3 or something.
It wasn't even 3.
We started playing an imaginative game, and Danielle won it by being much more imaginative. There's something about mice and rats running around. And
yeah.
I think she used to think that I stared. Maybe I did stare. Maybe I do stare. I don't know.
I don't know, but don't forget, you were one of the youngest magicians we had as well.
Yeah.
At the time, and I think you did used to stare at her, because that's when she's Naughty Peter Clifford. And, run off. And not in a restaurant and you've got a toddler. It's that was a challenge.
It's just crazy. Since I've had kids now, and now I think back to what you were doing, and you had a toddler, and you were starting a restaurant, and you were working in that restaurant with just insane amount of work.
Get up, and we got her into a nursery in Altrincham, and I managed to get her into this nursery, and I used to take her to the nursery and go straight to the market and get the produce and come back, and then I'd have to go and pick her up. So I'd have to do all my prep in time to be able to get to the nursery to pick her up to come back. And then Michelle used to look after her, because Michelle was at university then. And so she used to look after her upstairs for the evening. We had a baby monitor. I don't think you'd get away with it now, but I had a baby monitor in the kitchen and no babysitter upstairs after about 9 o'clock. And the dog used to sit next to her cot, Ben, in her room.
So Ben was the babysitter then?
Babysitter. Ben.
Oh my God, I'd forgotten about Ben.
Yeah, he was lovely.
He was great.
He was a great dog. He was a great babysitter, and he was also a really good guard dog.
I'd completely forgotten about him. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, he was a super dog. But yeah, it was crazy having a toddler and starting a business and working like 16 hours a day some days. I don't know how I did it, but crazy.
And then Richard was still working as a journalist, though, wasn't he? He was still
working as a journalist, and for
doing his evening shift in the restaurant.
Then he was doing his evening shift, and then unfortunately, the paper he was working on in Manchester closed down. So then he went back to London, and he was working in London all week. And I was running the restaurant and looking after Danielle and doing all the rest of it. And he'd come back on a Friday night and go back on a Monday morning. Just crazy.
That's insane.
Absolutely.
Well, that explains quite a lot, doesn't it? That really. It's just,
The magic made it happen for me, though. I mean, it was a joy to come out of that kitchen at the end of the night and see some magic. Yeah, it was. And we've been friends all these years since. So that's the added bonus, you know. I'd love to talk to Kate at some point.
I haven't spoken to Kate for a couple of years. I saw her because she lived in Cheltenham for a little while, and I saw her there, but I think she's in France now.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's a picture, I think, of you and Kate going in the book where you're dressed up for Halloween.
I can't wait to see that.
So,
I
yeah,
can.
there's pictures of Sean, of Dave Jones, of Dave Allen, Rovi, of course. There's a picture of me at Halloween where I'm not in my chef's whites. I've actually dressed up, but I've got a witch's hat on. So that's going.
The Undertaker as well. Is it Roy?
Roy, the Undertaker, yeah.
Yeah.
He joined the Salvation Army.
Right.
And he gave up magic, yeah.
Roy the Undertaker.
Roy the Undertaker. It's not a wrestling name. He was.
It was Roy.
It was a profession.
And I actually said to him, at some point, Roy, I'd like to come to the funeral home and watch how you actually attend to a dead body before. And he went, really? I went, yeah. He went, you're weird. I said, yes, I am. Yeah. I never did it, though. I never did it.
Dan Garrett from the States.
Garrett, yeah. I've been trying to get hold of Dan.
I'm in touch with him.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I need his. Send me a link so I can, because he's in Atlanta, so. Because even Danielle was asking about him.
Of course, Danielle's in Atlanta.
Well, she's near Atlanta now, but
yeah.
It's still only 30 minutes out.
No, I met a friend because I was in the States in January.
Right.
Doing a convention over there. I was lecturing at a convention, and that was in Columbus, Ohio. But I met someone who was obsessed with Shakespeare and had done like 2 masters in Shakespeare, and she lived in Atlanta, and I've sort of been in touch with her as well. But yeah, so I forgot Danielle's.
I haven't got any photographs of Dan Garrett, because the unfortunate thing, obviously, I was in the kitchen, so I mean I don't know who took some of these photographs that we've got.
That was probably me.
You obviously didn't take that one of you looking all student-like. But yeah, so obviously we haven't got photographs of everybody that worked there, and which is a bit of a shame. But then there's a limit to how many photographs you want to put in the book anyway.
You could always do a follow-up photo album.
Yeah.
If you pre-order the book, you'll receive a bonus photo album.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea, businessman. That you are. Very good idea. Anyway, Peter, I shall love you and leave you. I'm so grateful for everything that you did at the restaurant, but also that, we're such good friends because of it. And
this is the easiest interview I've ever done.
Well, professionals, you see. If I can do magic on the radio at the drop of a hat, I think I can.
I was interviewed on the radio with no script because I was shaking. when I first started talking on the radio. But as soon as he started asking me questions, I was gone, because all I wanted to do was sell the restaurant. I needed people to know us, to know how good we were, and to come and spend money in the restaurant.
And
So
you bigged up Manchester as well. I remember you sort of really bigging up Manchester, which is something you've always done.
I'm a very proud Mancunian, and
Yeah.
So
You should, Manchester's great. Em has applied to University of Manchester.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, to do sociology. They've applied to Manchester Met, Manchester Uni, and Leeds Uni, and Plymouth, bizarrely, because of the courses. But when I did Dracula there last year, that was only last year. Shit. M came up and just ended up jacked them to Affleck's Palace, and M just fell in love with the place. So
Affleck's,
always.
But I remember you bigging up Manchester.
Yeah.
It's of course it's an easy interview, Dominic. It's just we can just two friends who.
Well, I've not asked any questions.
Two friends reminiscing about a really important time certainly in my life, hugely important.
Do you have any questions to ask Peter then?
Oh yeah, have you got any questions?
No, you've covered everything.
Oh well, keep on doing some magic when you can, Peter, because it's such a wonderful skill to have. And to see people's faces, it's when they're sitting there going, "Go on then," and then
that's. I mean, I've been very lucky. I have a very funny relationship with magic, in that I go through phases of really not wanting to be a magician, but then I'll chat about it to someone who likes it, or I'll do some for someone, and I'll just go, "Oh yeah, I do like this. This is great." Yeah. It's a funny balance. I think I keep thinking that it's a skill that I don't like it, because people imbue you with powers that you haven't got. Some people think that you can do things that you can't do because you're telling them you can do things that you can't do. And I always feel a bit of a fraud then. But I think the thing that it does do is it genuinely gives people moments of surprise and wonder and happiness. Yeah. So I think that's the skill, is being a conduit for that. Yeah. And then I love it. But I think you had a really good selection of magicians. You had a really good, high quality selection of magicians as well. Which was really important, and sort of lucky as well from the. Well, it probably wasn't that, was it? It was design. You auditioned them and.
And I said to Richard, they've got to be good.
Yeah.
But they're complementing the food, so they've got to be as good as the food.
Yeah.
I don't want, somebody who goes around doing kids' parties. I don't want that kind of magic.
And there's a lot of magicians who have never been out of their bedroom, really, and never.
I need them to be able to engage with their audience at close, so close. So they've got to be able to entertain as well as having the skill to perform magic.
Yeah. And complement the evening that you created, because I remember as well, the music changed throughout the evening as well, didn't it? The music that complemented the sun going down and the pace of the food and the pace of the evening, really, and the music sort of complemented that.
Because we sat, Richard and I sat down and we decided what we wanted in the music, because so many restaurants you go to, it's just this bland music in the background that doesn't really change or is on repeat. And I said, we're not having that. We're creating an ambience that's everything. It's the whole package. It's the whole experience of the evening.
And the light subtly dipping, and it's just lovely. It's just it's a shame you weren't there, Dominic.
No, you weren't even a twinkle in your dad's eye.
My.
Was in 1987. She was just 2 when we opened. She was 2 in the October as we opened in the November. And
Yeah.
so he was going through the terrible twos as well. And you know what that's like, Peter.
A toddler in the terrible twos, opening a business, partner away in London. What should we do? Let's start a restaurant. In fact, let's start a restaurant that nobody's ever done before.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You got enough there, Dominic?
I've got more than enough, yeah.
All right, then.
You've got enough to fill that 5-minute segment.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you for agreeing to this little Zoom chat.
Anytime. And always, anything.
So, yes, that was the interview in full. However, there is more.
Bonus
Interview. For those wondering what Peter Clifford's been up to, or rather hasn't been up to during lockdown, join us again in about 2-3 minutes while we grab ourselves a cup of tea for the final part of the show.
I think before that, let's just explain a bit. This book is about a Manchester restaurant called Cafe Josie.
Indeed.
Which was active between 87 and 89.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I mean, I've never been to a restaurant where they do table magic. It's incredible. And
well, that is a question, actually. Is there... I know of one somewhere in Europe, and don't ask me to name exactly where because I can't remember, but I don't think there are any current restaurants in the UK that do tabletop magic.
it was, I mean, from what I gather, it was a very unique experience, and it's been a pleasure to hear all about it. At Squidwolf Media, we're very proud to be promoting this book.
Indeed, and I can't wait to read the book in full. Mercury Rising, coming soon, and you will find out the exact release date next weekend. But we're going to take a short break here. Come back in about 3 minutes for the final part of the show.
Thank you for joining us. Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back indeed to episode 3/2 of the Squidwolf Show.
Yay.
Yes, yay.
We're here.
Thank you for all of the nice comments congratulating us on not having technical difficulties today, because that's been rather nice. Thank you for that. I won't waffle on too long. So
Up next, we have the final part to the Mercury Rising interview featuring Josephine Adamson and Peter Clifford.
indeed, and
What are we talking about in this?
well, for those who tuned in yesterday, you haven't seen this. This is Peter Clifford telling us of his projects of 2020. And unfortunately, the ones that were postponed, which he's looking forward to in 2021, and I certainly am.
Because last year he did Dracula, didn't he, in Manchester? That was amazing.
He did, and I remember a couple of years ago, I think he is still with the Walkabout Theatre Company in some capacity, but they did a play of Dracula in Heaton Park, which is in North Manchester, and a Walkabout theatre production is where the audience walks through the park. They're guided through the park between the various scenes.
Wow.
It is very cool, and I remember when I was little, I saw him as the Sheriff of Nottingham as well in Robin Hood. That was a yes. He's
quite the character, isn't he?
He is. Here is the discussion on those projects.
I think if it wasn't for Cafe Josie, I wouldn't have done the magic that I've done, because I'd busked in pubs and things like that and done bits of stand-up.
Yeah.
But I was heading much more down the acting route. And then Cafe Josie it introduced me to people like Rovi and Sean McCree and Dave Allen and Dave Jones. And Arthur Day. I still do a trick that Arthur Day taught me.
Couldn't think of Arthur's name the other day because Mum and I were talking, and I said he actually, I've got a photograph. He took a photograph of me, just my face, and he then made it up of lots of little photographs, if you know what I mean. And when you look at it, you can't see it, and then when you go like that, you can actually see it's my face. And Arthur Day did that. He also took a photograph of Dominic as well. I've still got that one, Dominic.
Uh-oh.
Out. Yeah. But that was but for magic, being able to perform so regularly and find out what worked, what didn't work, be able to watch experienced performers like Rovi and work with him. And then when he started going out on gigs, he started taking me on gigs when we went and did gigs in the Midland Hotel and places like that. He would sort of take me off with him. And so that's when I started doing higher end table hopping, really. I hadn't really come across it. I'd never been to magic conventions. I was sort of outside the magic world.
Drama side, weren't you, at that time?
Yeah, which I think wasn't a bad thing. And then from that, I had the sort of confidence and the experience to take those skills. When I then moved to London, I started working as a jobbing magician around London, which got me introduced to various people. And it's like I can trace a line from that to all the work that I've done since, like with Darren, and then with David Blaine more recently. So it's all that I don't think would have happened if I hadn't spent all that time working for you at Cafe Josie. I think it was I can sort of see when you look back, you can sort of see how all those steps fitted together, even though it was never a plan. It just all sort of fell into place, which was lovely. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for not sacking me before I even started.
You didn't work for us, you worked with us. I mean,
no.
we're like a big family.
It really was. It really was.
The waiters, the waiting on staff, dear Hedda. We were a family.
Yeah.
because I always said to anybody that came to work there as staff, not as performers, I said, I don't expect you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. I said, so if I'm walking past the bin that needs emptying, I'll be emptying it, and you will be doing the same, because you don't work for me, you work with me as a team. We're a team. This is how this restaurant is going to be run, as a team. And, you know, if something you feel isn't right, then we discuss it. If something needs changing, we look towards change, because I want everybody to be happy working here, because if you are, then you're going to give really great service. And of course, they were really happy because they got to see magic. You know, most of them had never seen close-up magic before. You know, they'd seen TV magic, but they've not actually witnessed it close up. So, you know, everybody was grateful that we actually had the magic there. And
having a meal at the end of the night was really good as well, because that made it feel like a family.
Well, yeah, because we all ate at a ludicrous hour. Cook up this huge spread, and we'd all sit down and eat a meal at, you know, daft o'clock. And that was unheard of in the restaurant business as well. That didn't happen, you know, because Kim had worked. I think Kim had worked at the Lime Tree.
He had worked at the Lime Tree, which is, I think that's how that the link. Yeah.
You know, and when the last place that he worked, where Liz, my dear friend Liz, was a part-time waitress, and when we were thinking of the restaurant, she said, I know a chef who is brilliant. And so that's how we got Kim. So it all kind of fell into place. So yeah, we were a big family. And even after it ended, I'd see, remember Fast Eddie,
Yeah. Twat.
Around Sholton, and he'd say, do you know, I'd work for you anywhere, anytime again. He said, I really miss it. He said it was fun. It was actually fun. Wasn't so much fun in the kitchen, I have to say, but
wasn't always fun.
It was fun.
Who made the mushroom soup? Was that yours?
It was mine, yeah.
It's still the nicest mushroom soup I've ever had. Haven't found it anywhere. I'll sort of order it, and I just
favourite things to do.
Always disappointing.
Well, yeah, but there's a secret to how you treat the mushrooms before you actually put them in the soup.
You treat them kindly.
Yes.
You treat them with love.
Treat them with love when you cut the heads off.
When you chop them up, and yeah.
So yeah, no, the menu was a complete collaboration between Kim and I, and we knew that we had to keep it small, otherwise we wouldn't be able to produce, you know, the perfection on a plate that we managed to do if we had an extensive menu. So yeah, but the magic was it was all part of Cafe Josie. Cafe Josie, although the food was brilliant, you know, the whole atmosphere in the restaurant was brilliant because of the magic, and people talked about it years later. Years later.
And that's why the book's here.
Sorry?
And that's why the book is here.
Why the book is here. The book is here because, which is strange, because, I mean, a lot of people have written books during COVID, but that was not our plan. When Richard approached me about writing the book, it was all about the memories and making a memoir of that very, very special time. So that was why we started the book when we did. And it was hard slog for me at first, but as I got into doing it, all the memories, they just kept flooding back. So I'd start writing, and then, oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, and write that down. And you know, it's still very clear in my mind about those couple of years. Yeah.
How many years was it? Was it
87 to 89?
It was just those 2 years.
It was just those 2 years. We opened in
feels like it was so much more than that. It was
yeah, we opened in the November 87 and we closed at the end of July in 89.
Wow.
Yeah. It was only 2 years. But it does feel like it was a lot longer.
Mm.
And considering that neither of us had run a restaurant before. I'd worked in them, I'd waited on, I'd washed up. I'd never actually run a restaurant before. But the reason we decided to do it initially was Richard was working for the New Manchester Review, and he'd do an eating out column, and we'd go to various restaurants around Manchester and we'd review them, but we didn't tell them we were there to review them, and we would give them a review. And we ate out in so many mundane or poor restaurants that purported to have, cordon bleu food. And Richard just kept saying, you could do this. You could do better than that. So that was a number of years before we got round to it.
And that...
To conclude this topic, we have some magic.
Indeed. And for those wondering about the book, it is Mercury Rising, the inside story of Cafe Josie, which is coming soon, and we will be able to definitively confirm the exact release date of that next weekend.
Indeed.
Which means you got to come back again, obviously.
Obviously.
Next Saturday night.
But between now and then, we have the Great Adamski.
We do.
Giving us some table magic.
Here we go. Take it away.
Hello, good evening. My name is the Great Adamski, as I'm sure you all know, and I'm here to greet you with some of the arcane mysteries which Cafe Josie diners were absolutely amazed by. Well, everyone can remember the famous demons at Halloween. It's in the book. Don't miss it. But there was another night when the press gang came to town and we needed a hard man card mechanic to take care of them. Well, before I could unleash Mick Chardo, the press gang said to me, "Come on, Rich, show us something." Of course, I knew them all. I'd been working with them a few years earlier. So I said, "Oh, okay." "Well, remember," I said, "our friend Albert Einstein, he said nothing can travel at the speed of light. If it does, it goes into warp speed and turns inside out." So without further ado, I picked up 2 cards, folded one over, and another one. The Queen of Hearts, you will notice. Turn the cards over. And then, oh, that's not right, is it? What's going on here? Joker's turned inside out. Whoa! The Express crowd were absolutely gobsmacked. They couldn't believe it. Neither could I, actually. How I got away with this, I have no idea. However, I salute my friend Albert Einstein. With that, good night, Albert. So, a quick trick for the Express Club. But the trick I really wanted to do was the cups and balls. The oldest trick in the world. It's on the pyramids at Giza on the wall. 3 cups and a load of balls, which I kept in this cup here for safekeeping. The oldest trick in the world travelled down the centuries to many street conjurers, especially in the medieval times, and Hieronymus John Bosch wrote that famous picture, The Conjurer, where the expressions on the faces of the crowd mirrored the expressions of our diners when the one magician who did the 3 cups and bowls, Harry Nichols, was performing. Harry was superb. And it went something like this. Yeah. And the third bowl. Three cups, 3 bowls. Just like that. Harry finished off with an amazing finale. Went like this. Cup, bowl. Oh my God. Cup, bowl. And finally, the third bowl goes in the cup. I take it out and it comes back there. Amazing. This was the moment which could have got Harry burned at the stake in another time, another place. Especially if he did this. And that is my final memory for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, every piece of this is in the book. You can read all about it. So, with that, I wish you the best of good nights.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Great Adamski telling us about Mercury Rising and giving us one hell of a show.
Indeed.
I did not see those lemons coming.
That'll be the quote of the show. I did not see those lemons coming.
So, for our final segment of the Squidwolf Show, episode 3, what have we got coming up next?
So, for those who are joining us from fans of Legacy Radio, which is our radio station that's focused on the EVE Online audience.
Yes, we have a themed gaming radio.
Indeed we do, and you can find out more about that at legacyradio.space. And for those who are supporting us on Patreon have seen this video already in its entirety, but for you folks, you can get a little teaser of it. To end the show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes, this some of the content from the radio was definitely not airable.
No. I don't think
for this
is airable, to be honest, but we'll find out. And for those wondering what my magic trick is, it's making this beer disappear. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Enjoy.
What have you got for us today?
It depends which one you've lined up as number 3, but we have coming up a chat with Sindel that was... well, I've only included 1.5 minutes of
we
the
talked
carnage.
for like 2 hours or something stupid.
It was such a good conversation. We extended the radio for 45 minutes.
Yeah, we don't normally do that, so...
No, so that's all on you, Sindel.
Yeah, so you got to repay us by coming back to Eve, even though she's not going to see this video, because she's definitely not supporting Patreon. She's spending all that money on wine. Anyway, what?
Oh.
Got a flying Squidwolf? What in the world?
Oh, no, I thought that said flying Squidward.
Excuse me, there is only one Squidwolf. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hola.
Hi, are you here for golf?
We're playing mini golf.
What? Okay.
We are playing golf with your friends for Thanksgiving.
Can we just talk about that for a minute?
I can't.
Sindel was playing golf for Thanksgiving. Are you here for golf?
She's gone from being one of the biggest VIPs in EVE to quitting the game, allegedly. And now she's playing golf, drunk, on Discord on Thanksgiving.
And telling us all of Void's sexual history.
Did that
as
make
well.
it into the clip, or were you saying
No,
that?
that's
Oh,
not in the
okay.
clip. You'll hear that in the podcast version later, because there's no way I could condense that down into a few minutes. Let's put it that way.
No. Do you know, I'm just realising that none of our content is broadcastable on mainstream media. None
This
of
is
it.
why I've
It's
clipped
completely unbroadcastable.
These clips are only a few minutes long. That's about all we're going to get onto YouTube.
It is a miniature golf simulator that we're all supposed to be terrible at, but for some reason, Bag is a tryhard.
This is like...
What?
Told you.
Oh my god, I'm so
You
confused.
and Skylar are usually only a couple points behind
trying
me.
to catch up with the tryhard.
You know the thing about this clip? None of it's EVE related.
Well, I mean, there are EVE players in it.
Ex-EVE players.
Well, I mean, I think Void, I don't know whether he's an
Oh,
ex-player
Void
because
Scribbler, yeah.
he doesn't log in, but he's still kept up to date with most of what's happened. So,
If you know if Void Scribbler still plays EVE,
well, I know
comment,
because I
send
listened
us a
to
message, I don't know.
I listened to what he was saying, you know, fairly recently, and yeah.
Hmm.
He said in the podcast that he doesn't log in anymore, but he keeps himself up to date on the Facebook groups and things.
So he technically still plays EVE then?
But, like, would you count that as a player?
Yeah, I didn't log in for 6 months and I was still playing.
Because you're not really doing anything in the game.
There you are, it's the meta game.
Well, there you have it.
Meta game. Of course, CCP doesn't get any revenue from that. So.
It's fine. You live your best life. I'm going to kick your ass today.
Well, here's me just floating through Discords, finding open comms channels, and you guys
Well,
are
I'm
playing
glad we were all
golf.
here in this tomfuckery channel when you decided to pop in. How have you been?
I've been alright. A lot of things have changed since we last spoke.
Good things?
Oh yeah, you should know, Void.
I should know. Am I missing something here?
Well, unless you don't play EVE anymore, in which case I will be very upset.
I haven't logged in a fair while. I know, it's terrible, but I was wondering about details, any juicy gossip or something.
Oh, well, the
Hey.
juicy gossip is that we are next door to 1DQ now.
Oh, I have ships there. Could you get them out for me?
Yeah.
Only if you agree to an interview on Legacy Radio.
Sure, why not? I mean, that's basically what I am now.
What you're saying
Legacy,
is this invasion is just to get your ships out.
old timer,
Yeah.
a relic,
We're
Oh,
all
no.
has been.
we're all
I don't know,
waiting for
Senate.
your return. We have played your songs on the radio.
You've got a little fan club, there's it.
She's got quite a
Sen,
big
if your ships
fan
were
club,
in a-
actually. I don't think she realizes how big the fan club is in EVE.
Never fuck.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, wow, anger.
Go
Beware,
on.
the Texans angry.
This is a fucking intense game of golf. Fucking hell.
We haven't even started yet. Oh, and Void just left.
Oh,
What the
did I?
fuck?
What the fuck?
That's what I just said.
Where's
I
that
brought my anthem
from?
with me.
Jesus.
Okay, well, if you've got... What the fuck was that?
That was, I believe that was Sindle's son's entrance music. And then
Oh, right.
as soon as he entered the Discord channel, somebody kicked him out. And he was like, what the fuck?
Not a fucking fanfare. To be honest, I used to
I
do that
thought
when
that was nice.
I used to do that when I played Halo. That's why I got banned so many times, probably. Yeah. Anyway.
Continue.
He just
Anthem.
got muted by Skepta.
That shit.
Unmute my child. But no, I don't realize how big the fan club is. How big is the fan club? Could it put me through college?
Legacy.
Yes, that was Sindel
Wow.
Pellion. Yes.
Too many jokes.
Shout out to you, Sindel. That I've made a podcast of that interview, which it's just
And now you're public enemy number one for that. She's going to hate that.
No, I think Void Scribbler is probably going to have a bit more issue with it, given that
Oh, yeah, the milk
conversation-
story.
the milkman.
I forgot about the milk story. And you guys, if you want to know what that is, you have to listen to it on the podcast.
And our podcasts are released every Sunday on Patreon. We will be releasing them at some point
Indeed.
on a public platform, but for now it is exclusive to our patrons.
Yeah.
Shout
so
out to all of you guys.
Patreon.com/Squidwolf. Go there and check it out, and you'll get free merch as well.
I really love making these podcasts. It's honestly, it's so fun to look back
When you're
at,
sober, yeah.
you know, the conversations we've had on the radio. They're utterly unique, and I think that's what makes legacy radio so fun. I mean, we got record listeners this time around, didn't we?
Yeah, and for those wondering when it's back as well, we're back in January.
We are taking a short break just for Christmas,
Yeah.
and we'll be back in the new year with some more awesome music. I guess we should mention that Legacy Radio is an alternative radio station.
Well,
'Cause
in
that-
small doses, yeah.
That comment came up, didn't it? Like, hey, where's some pop music?
Well, we're still New Eden's number one, so
We ourselves like alternative music, so that's what we play.
indeed. So join us next weekend.
Yes, thank you for joining the Squidwolf show.
Yeah.
We will be bringing you more of this next weekend on Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday at 7. Check us out. Thanks
So,
for watching.
Thanks for
and
watching.
The book will be available soon. And to
Yes.
find out when, you do need to check out next weekend as well.
This is Mercury Rising, the book about Cafe Josie in
Yep.
Manchester. We are also proud Mancunians, aren't we?
Oh, have you renounced your southern citizenship now?
Well, I was born in the south, but I guess, you know, Manchester has had an effect on me.
Oh.
I enjoy Affleck's as much as Peter Clifford.
Yes, Affleck's is very cool. Support your local businesses, people.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, and join us again next weekend.
Thank you.